Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. Now I'm looking today at 3 books together. I'm only going to do a review of one of them for this clip, but I'm looking at the Red Book, which is the book I use and we all use basically in the family jurisdiction. It's this book here. See it? It's very heavy. It's the Family Court Practice 2014, Family Law. There's the spine, and it's got a list of all of the people involved. See, it's got the shaded areas, so you can find things pretty quickly. There's quite a lot of useful dividers. You've got some very useful areas where you can go to things very, very quickly. The area that I have been using quite recently is the FPR, the Family Procedure Rules themselves, because again, you know that is the area which I normally have contentious argument on. The book itself is very long. It's very big, of course. It's well over 3,000 pages long. They do use the inside pages to give you very quick information, summary of fees. Do be careful about the fee levels because they're going to change again. You've also at the front got a diary, which is quite helpful. One thing I did like about this year's work, these are let me just, before I go on to the actual content itself, let me just show you the front section. That's the current one, 2014. Came out the middle of last year. I'm recording this in March 2015. Lord Wilson is mentioned, of course, as the editor-in-chief at the top, and all the other people, some of whom I have met or been in front of. Very, very erudite people. They know what they're talking about. The original 2001 edition, when it first came out, Mrs. Justice Bracewell gave a short preface. Then Lord Wilson gave a very useful foreword in 2008, and since then we've had a brand new introduction for last year, which actually goes on at some length about various matters, many of which we are very familiar with, concerning the changes in the structure of the courts, and also, of course, things like legal aid and what has happened with LASPO and all the other difficulties we've come across. There's the contents page there, and then after that you've got statutes and then cases in some detail. Then you have a very, very substantial, you've got the CPR, the FPR. There's a full CPR collection here. You've got all the civil procedurals and the family procedure rules, so because you may well have to cross-refer to them, so you will find that quite helpful. Maintenance orders, there's a lot of very useful table style structures about what you do and where the rules are and where you can find them. Again, I thought that was quite helpful. There's a lot of that right at the beginning of the publication itself in part 1. As I say, I was involved in one case with costs, so that area came up. It's come open there. This is for wasted costs orders and various other things. Then you've got the legislation, Adoption and Children Act 2002. All the other, Children Act 1989 of course is in there, a lot of legislation. Then you've got quite a large number of the again practice directions, all of those are included. As I say, it's a very, very substantial work. It seems to get bigger every year, but it's bound to be the case with the way things are. There's the FPR themselves right in the middle, and then it just runs through from there. Procedurals all the way through. It depends very much on what you're looking for. For instance, that's on interim injunctions. Then you go towards the end, you've got the civil procedurals, as I said, full set of civil procedurals, so you don't have to cross-refer to the White Book or the Green Book or anything like that. Then you've got statutory instruments, and then practice guidance, quite useful. There's quite a lot of help in particular areas if you've got any difficulties. Then towards the back, European materials, again extremely helpful. There's quite a lot on that because that I think is going to be very much of a growing area. And then there's a very detailed index at the back, very much to be expected. And of course you've also got the autumn supplement. Now I'm going to do a separate review on the autumn supplement, but what we're going to do first is talk, and that review will be different. I'm going to talk today about the family court practice, the Red Book itself. My wife and I looked at it, we had a chat about it. She knows quite a bit about how the book is organised and how we use it and so forth, and how I've certainly used it in court. Obviously we've photocopied the stuff, but you have the book with you because you never quite know what you might need to cross-refer to. And that's where the Red Book Plus, of course, also comes in, because that is quite a quick way sometimes round. We gave it the title The Comprehensive and Authoritative Guide for Practitioners in the New Family Court. Now, the Editor-in-Chief is Lord Wilson, General Editor is His Honour Judge Anthony Cleary, and the consulting editor is Lady Justice Black, with 12 contributors. They're listed at the front. This is what we say once again, and good news for family law practitioners. The Family Law imprint of Jordan Publishing has launched the current and most up-to-date edition of the familiar Red Book, the Family Court Practice 2014. And it's an annually updated work of reference, almost invariably used by judges in the family courts. I mean, I would expect to see that in every court, and I normally do. It's around somewhere because there is nothing else. It is where the law is effectively contained, and you need to know where it is. You can't be expected to know it all, but you've got to know your way around the book, especially if you want to practice in this area of law. You've got to know where the changes are as well, because there have been quite a few changes. It means, obviously, today, of course, that when this book came in, it was slightly delayed because of the introduction of the new family court structure. And we, having been part of the implementation of that, I think it's beginning to work pretty well, personally, irrespective of whatever one's views. I think it is a positive development, if I can say so, in family law jurisprudence. Note that the new family court structure, which I've just mentioned, which came in May 2014, so that's actually 10 months ago from when I'm recording this, it was the date when actually Judge Cleary wrote the useful introduction to this work, and he refers to it as the tsunami of amended rules, new legislation and revised public and private law programmes which practitioners now have to contend, and the consequent anxieties. I know how he feels, and I think a lot of other people do too. Such concerns, of course, have not been alleviated by the removal of funding in private law, which has led to predictable increases in litigants in persons, LIPs, representing themselves in court without competent legal advice. It's not surprising then that the time taken to complete hearings has risen by some 50%. The tsunami of consequences has also given rise to problems with timetables, delays, failure of litigants to adhere to court orders. There were problems with bundles, which I'm sure you're all aware of, I certainly am, shortfalls in local authority budgets, and much more. It's worth reading Cleary's further remarks concerning these developments, just to remind yourself of the challenges that practitioners and all those involved in family court proceedings now face. And it is difficult, let's make no bones about it. Lapso and the changes have caused a lot of problems. Whether it's right or wrong is irrelevant. It's the fact is we have to deal with those problems. I just hope it doesn't happen again. However, you're bound to have upheavals, and that's what we're there for. However, this is a truth widely acknowledged, that because of these and other issues which have recently arisen in family court practice, you as a practitioner will now need your stalwart and ever reliable copy of the Red Book more than ever, plus the supplement and plus the Red Book Plus. You can certainly help to avoid the pitfalls you're likely to encounter in everyday practice if you A, know about the book, and B, have some idea of how it operates, how you can actually find the things reasonably quickly. It doesn't take very long to get into it. Within about, I think, 3,500 pages in total, the book provides the material you need, including tables of statutes, statutory instruments, cases and practice directions, plus a table of the CPR, FPR and Supreme Court practice directions. The 6 parts into which it's divided include, with necessary commentary, procedural guides, statutes, procedure rules, practice guidance, European material and more. And to aid navigation there's an extensive index with useful cross-references throughout. I thought the index was particularly useful, I may add. It's not surprising then that the book has over the years emerged as the standard work of reference in family law. There isn't anything else that really comes to it. You've got the loose leaf work, but this is what you will see in the courtroom. And it's therefore become an essential acquisition if you're a family law practitioner. The law's cited as at May 2014, and then there is the supplement, which came out obviously in the autumn. I'd like to thank Lord Wilson and His Honour Judge Cleary and all the people who've been involved in this. We could not do our work without it. It's very important to know about the existence of the book, to know your way around it. Jordans must take a great deal of credit through the family law imprint for continuing to publish this work. It's by far and away the most important book, and you must know your way around it. It's extremely helpful whenever you have a client as well, because once they know that you've got the book, I think that even and you explain what it is, that even gives them some idea and some perhaps a little bit more confidence about the strength of their particular case. Irrespective of how you're going to do it and develop it, they may get a little bit more strength out of it. And I also remind you again of the Red Book Plus, which links in very nicely with it. I'm very pleased with all three publications. Without it, we couldn't do our job. It's as simple as that. So thank you very much indeed to all concerned. Bye-bye.